Hey guys, it's Edie. Welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, we are getting in the Christmas spirit and we're going to be reading some Christmas romance books. I haven't got all the ones I'm going to be reading here. One of them should be coming today at some point, but I just wanted to do the intro now to get it done with, because otherwise if I don't do it before I start filming the rest, I forget about it. So I'm doing it now. So let me just show you the 4 books I've chosen I want to read in this reading vlog. The book that's arriving today is How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. And I've never read a Megan Quinn book, but I know a lot of people like her. And there's this one sound going around on TikTok from, I don't know if it is from this book or not, but I saw it and I was like, I need to read that book. As soon as I saw that clip on TikTok, I purchased it, so it's coming today at some point. So the next one I chose is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. I don't know nothing about it. It's not a very long book. How many pages is it? I want to say, it's just over 200 pages. I don't really know much about it, but it's a short, hopefully sweet little romance Christmas book. So the next book I've chosen is A Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. Just look how cute the cover is, and you can see the holographic bits, is that what you call it, or the shiny bits? I don't know what you call them, but this is the 3rd book. I believe it's called Dreamland Harbour. If it's not that, I'll put the name of the series up on the screen now, but each book in this series so far follows it's set in a certain season. So the first one is called Pumpkin Spice Cafe. The second one is it something like Cinnamon Bun Bookstore or something along the lines of that. That one is in bookstore, and then this one is a Christmas Tree Farm. So the other 2 books, they're not my favourite romance books. I think I gave the first one 4 and the second one 3 something. So they're not the greatest, but they're not bad. They're perfect for the time of year, season you want to read them in. And the last book I've chosen is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. This is the Illumicrate or Afterlight exclusive that I got. I've got the rest of the series up here. I don't know if you can see that. I think you can just see that. Those are the other 3 in the series, but they're so pretty. You've got the sprayed edges. And then what's even prettier, I think, is the naked hardcover. Just look at that. They are beautiful, and they've always also got end paper, whatever, and they're both different as well. And I know a lot of people love this book, and they've also loved all the ones in the rest of the series, but I didn't want to start the series because this is the first book in the series, and I didn't want to read another one and then because this, I don't know what I'm trying to say, basically because this is the first one in the series. I didn't want to read a Christmas book in summer. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't really want to start in the middle of a series. I hope that makes sense, but I've been waiting for a while to read this, waiting for this time of year, and I'm very excited to pick this up. So those are the 4 books we've chosen. I think I'm going to start with Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey because it is such a small book, and I'm I don't know. The last 2 books I've read, if you watched my last reading vlog, it was Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. They're so thick, so dark and twisted. I'm I want a bit of light and fluffiness, and I feel this is the perfect reading vlog to do after doing that. So this is the first book we've chosen. I know nothing about it. I'm going in kind of blind. Is it to do with someone window shopping? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'll probably come back to you once I'm halfway through it maybe, or if I have something to talk about, then I'll update you guys. So I'm halfway through this book and I'm loving it. I'm having such a good time. I'm currently on chapter 9, page 128, and this has just given me all the rom-com Christmas film sort of vibes, the ones you will watch every year, the romance ones, and I've been giggling at points oh, it's so good, it's surprising me so much. Basically this book follows Stella and Aidan, and Stella recently just got let out of jail for committing a crime. I'm not going to say what it is because it's not a spoiler, but you do finally undercover. I've already found out what it is, but I don't want to tell you what it is. I want you to be able to read it. I don't know. But anyway, she's walking along Fifth Avenue and she's like looking in like a shop window, and she stands there thinking, well, this doesn't look good, basically what she's thinking. And then all of a sudden Aidan comes and stands next to her and he's like, oh, what do you think about it? What would you do? Stuff like that. And then he's like, you should interview for the job as a window dresser because they're hiring a new one. And she's like, oh, I don't know. So then they part ways. She goes back to her apartment and she decides she is gonna put in an application for the job. And then basically Aidan finds her job application. He interviews everyone. He does, to give them a fair chance. And he sets on her and he does like a trial, like 4-day trial to redesign the shop window and then reveal it to everyone and some management and things like that. So that's basically the storyline so far. I feel like it's so sweet, so cute. The chemistry between them, I'm loving. I'm just sitting here, I'm listening to, there's a channel on YouTube that like does like hour-long videos, and they're like, the clips are from like Animal Crossing, and they're like, there's music in the background, there could be like coffee shops, just other things, and there's Christmas ones, and I'm listening to those while I'm reading it, and I can just like, I'm like picturing it as a movie. I am. Like some scenes I can just like picture like a movie film version of that, and it's just giving me all the Christmas feels. Because this book is so short, I've only got like 120 pages left, so hopefully I might be able to finish today, I'm not sure. Hopefully I will. If I do have any more thoughts, any more feelings before I finish this book, I will update you, but I don't think I am. Unless something major happens, which changes my perspective of the book, but I don't think it will, unless a Third Act breakup. If there is a Third Act breakup, I don't know if there is, but yeah, I'm loving this book. I had brought it last year, but I never read it last year, and now I'm like, I wish I did read it. Anyway, those are my thoughts and my feelings so far. So I finished Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and it just kept getting better and better, this book. Like, I just don't know what to say. It was so fun, so cute, so sweet, like I've said before. So it's like set in New York, it's dual POV, which I love. Love any book that's dual POV. And it's like, she's like an ex-convict, and then it ends up being like boss-employee, like office sort of romance. It's could almost be kind of forbidden because, not in a way, but the employee handbook says you can't be in a relationship with someone you work with, but then there's this clause that you can sign, blah blah blah. So there's that, and there was like a bit of like conflict, like the tiniest bit, but it didn't bother me because like you can kind of understand where they were coming from and why that happened. And I wouldn't say they really broke up, they just had like a disagreement, a bit of an argument. I feel like if you love a good cheesy Christmas rom-com film or movie, you'll probably like this book, and it is really quick and short to read. Like I said earlier, it's like just under 250 pages, so if you're a quick reader, or even if you're a slow reader, you can get through it relatively quickly. It doesn't take long to read, and it's easy to follow along. Writing's good, not amazing, but it's decent. For a romance book, it's alright. And like the epilogue, like I shed a tear during the epilogue because I can't say what happened because then it would spoil the whole book. Not the whole book, but parts of it. And I'll just say it had me shedding a few tears. I feel like that's all I have to say about it. I'm debating what to rate it. I feel like I'm debating if this is going to be a 4 or 4.5. Now I think I've decided I'm going to give this a 4 stars. It's a decent book, but is it the greatest thing I've ever read? No, but I did love it. I did have such a good time while reading it, and I would recommend it to people. The next book we're going to be reading is The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read tonight because it's currently like 8:15, and I am currently rereading, yeah, that's what you call it, rereading Fourth Wing and annotating, so I want to get a bit of that done tonight. So I'll probably read a bit of this, but probably not that much. So once I've got to like the 50% mark, I'll probably come back to you guys with an update. So it's now the next day. I only read like one chapter last night before I went to bed because I was quite tired. And I have now read up to page 74, chapter 7 I'm on now. And I probably won't update again today because I've got to go to work. In probably like an hour I'm going to leave. So I need to get my uniform on and stuff ready to go. So this will be probably my only update for the day, because by the time I get home it will be probably like 10, 11 o'clock, roughly sort of that time. So I don't really want to be doing it then because my whole family will be asleep then and I don't want to wake them up. But anyway, this book's alright. I haven't read enough of it to have a proper opinion of it. This follows Kira and Bennett. Kira's just recently, a couple months prior, bought the Christmas tree farm, and she's had it like shut, and people have come and it's been shut, and she said, turned away, said no, and then she's decided to open it again for the Christmas like holiday season. And Bennett is coming to stay with his sister, which is Jenny from the first book, I believe she is, I think that's her name. And he's staying in the little like apartment above the cafe she runs because she's recently just moved in with her fiance. Where the Christmas tree farm, like the house is, where that is, it's all really run down. There's no heating, no this, no that. Bennett has been trying to help Kira get the heat in, a bit of heat back into the house, things like that. I don't know if I said this, she just reopened the Christmas tree farm for guests, but no one showed up. And Bennett suggested, why don't you go and announce it at the like Christmas, I can't, is it the Christmas lighting or Christmas tree lighting, something to do with the town where they light all the lights for Christmas. And so she's gone there and she's gone to announce that she's opening the Christmas tree farm again to everyone. And that's pretty much the sum of it, of what's happened, what's going on so far. I don't really know much else or what else is going to happen, and it's alright, I'm enjoying it. Not my favourite, but I can't really say what is sitting at the moment because I haven't even read 100 pages of it. But one thing I remember about these books, and now these aren't dual POV, these aren't told in first person, it's told in third person and it's not people's point of view. It's because I always prefer, especially when romance books are dual POV or any sort of point of view in first person, I just connect to the characters more, and I feel like I'm not connected to them yet, but I'm still not even 100 pages in, so it might change. So I'll probably just update you guys tomorrow. Hopefully once I've read, maybe halfway through, I'll update you guys. So it's the next day and I'm now probably roughly halfway through it. I'm on page 173, chapter 16, and I'm enjoying it, but it's not my favourite. But I'm still having a good time while reading it, if that makes sense. So at the moment it's probably sitting at like 3.5 stars, which is still a decent rating, because some people say anything under 4 stars is not a good rating. I think no. I think for me, 3 stars and above is a good rating, for me at least. And then anything under 3 stars, that's when I didn't like it, had problems with it, things like that. But I am enjoying this book. I'm just not as invested, not as connected to the characters as I would usually be when I'm reading a book or things like that. And I feel like the first book I read in this, The Window Shopping, it made me laugh quite a few times. This one hasn't brought as many as like reactions out of me compared to the first book. So that's where it's roughly sitting at the moment. I do have the day off work today, so I'm hoping I can finish the rest of this today. I have like this much left. And I say I could probably finish this today if I crack down and read it, but will I do that? Probably not. I'm going to try and finish it today, because I just want to get it done. So now my next update is probably just going to be once I finish the book. So I finished Christmas Tree Farm and I'm sticking with 3.5. I think that's what I said I was giving it earlier, but wasn't my favourite, wasn't bad. If you're looking for Christmassy vibes, look no further. This will give you all those Christmassy sort of vibes you're looking for. And it did feel quite similar. Not very similar, but there were elements in this that were quite similar to the first 2 books in this series. But I still did like it because of the Christmas vibes in it. I loved like Bennett's character. Definitely my favourite out of the 2 of them. And the dogs, all the dogs. They were so cute. But Kira's took me a while to warm up to her. Still, she's not my favourite. Don't love her, but don't hate her in between, because she's really hard to get to like at first, I guess. But apart from that, it's not very quick, but it's not a long book, so it could be quick to read. It's easy to follow along, nothing too complicated. I also want to say what Bennett done after like the third act like conflict. Oh, it was so cute, it was. And I feel like if I liked Kira's character more, it probably would have been 4 stars, but not that she kind of brought it down, but I didn't like her as much, and I feel like that brought the rating a bit down, because I've really got to like the main characters to like the book. So that's all my thoughts, feelings about this book. The next book we will be picking up is How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I don't think I'm going to start reading this tonight because I've got to edit the video that's going up before this one, and I just need to get it done, so I'm going to do that. And have I said this in this video? I'm not sure, but I'm currently rereading Fourth Wing and annotating it, ready for the release of Onyx Storm in January, because I just love that series so much. So I'm slowly doing that, so I want to do a bit of that as well. So I might not pick this up tonight, but I feel like I'll definitely start reading it tomorrow. So it's now the next morning, and I didn't read any of this last night, so we're going to start this now. Don't know much about it. I don't know if this is actually seen in it, but there's a sound that was going around on TikTok, and if you know, you know. But it says here it's like enemies to lovers, fake dating, so I'm very excited to read this. I love like any sort of like fake dating, marriage of convenience. Those are probably like some of my favourite tropes, so very excited to read this. So it's now later on in the evening, and I've had a shower and I've gotten into my pyjamas, all nice and cozy, and I'm now halfway through this book. I really struggled to get into this at first because this is told in like first person dual POV, but then it had points where the narrator was just, there was just a narrator popping in, and then it just messed with my brain. And then every now and then there'd be a bit, it's not narrator, but I don't know how to explain it. Unless you've read this book, you might understand. So that was a bit confusing to get into. There hasn't been any more narrating bits in a while, because it'd literally say in the chapter, narrator, whatever the narrator was saying, in like bold writing. I'm like, I didn't need that. I didn't really want that, but it's alright. But the last like chapter or two, so good it was, because I feel like this was, out of all of them, this was the one I was looking forward to reading the most because of all the clip I saw on TikTok. But it at first it was kind of disappointing me, but it now has brought up after the last like couple of chapters. This basically follows, I believe this is how her name is said, is Story, but it's not spelt like Story. I'll put it up on the screen here, and it also follows Cole, and it's set in this like town, I believe in the Rocky Mountains, I want to say, and it's like Christmas all year round apparently. And Cole hates Christmas. Ever since 10 years ago something happened, and he hates Christmas since. I'm not going to say what happens because it doesn't say it on the back of the book and I don't want to spoil it. So something happens and he hates Christmas, so he never does anything Christmassy for the past 10 years. And then when Story was younger, she used to come see her auntie who lives in this small little Christmassy town every time at Christmas with her parents and her sister. But then also 10 years ago, that was the last time she came until this Christmas. And she's come this Christmas because her grandmother's recently hurt herself, so her and her sister have come up to look after the grandmother. Every year since Story and her family have stopped coming to see her, I believe her grandma has entered in this, what's it called? It's called like a Christmas Kringle, I believe that's what it's called, and how you say it. And it's basically like this competition that this town holds, and there's different things you have to do, and the person who gets the most points overall is the winner. I don't know exactly what they win, but they get the winner of something. Because I think I did say this earlier, it does say on the back of the book down the bottom here that it is like fake dating, but they only started like fake dating like 40-45% way into the book. So it's not, the whole book isn't like fake dating where you get a lot of fake dating books and it starts around like 20-30%. This does start a bit later on. But apart from that, and apart from it taking me a while to get into, I am now having quite a good time while reading it. I haven't got to the scene that's been going around on TikTok yet, so I'm very intrigued because I have a feeling it's going to be coming up soon because of the events that are going on now. So I'm excited to see what that scene actually is. But anyway, I'm probably sitting at the moment maybe like a 3.5, 3.75, and I feel like my rating will probably change by the time of this book, because especially since I'm liking this book more and more and more. But I feel like I probably won't update you again tonight. I'm just going to update you probably when in the morning, or I might just update you when I finish it. It depends, because it's not that late. It's only like 20 minutes to 9, so I am probably gonna lay in bed, read for a majority of the rest of the night before I go to bed. And I am reading part sometimes on my Kindle, and it's saying I just have probably 3.5 hours left, so I might even finish it or have an hour left to read tomorrow, and then we can start the next book, but we'll wait and see. So it's 3:30 next day. I've finished it. I only had like 3 hours left when I finished reading last night, but it took me the whole day to finish this book, because I'm like rewatching Harry Potter at the moment, and I kept kind of getting distracted by that, but I've now finished it, and my thoughts still stand with early. There's a couple more points where a narrator came in, but I understood it a bit more. My brain wrapped around it a bit better because I've already read like chapters with that in, and like there was moments that really pulled on my heartstring, and it was so good really. In the end I really did like it. But the third act breakup, I did not like, but then it wasn't like Cole or Story's fault, it was someone else's fault. Someone else like intervened, and which caused them to break up. So I'm not mad at them, I'm mad at the other person. So that didn't make me dislike the book anymore, it just made me dislike that character more, I guess you could say. So that didn't bring the rating down of the book for me, because it wasn't their fault really, someone else intervened. But also, all I'm gonna say is the candy cane scene. If you've read this book, you know, but I don't know what to say about that. Well, if you're looking for a book that'll give you all the Christmas vibes, it will pull on your heartstrings at times because of like Cole's backstory, or like stuff that's gone on in his past really might pull at your heartstrings. So if you want that sort of Christmassy vibe books, look no further than this one. So I've settled on the rating of 4 stars, because I feel like if the narrator bit wasn't in there, I might have liked it a bit more. I might have given it a 4.5, but that narrator bit at the beginning that took me a while to get into the book and wrap my head around, that brought it down a bit. Also, I've got to say, what Story done to kind of make Cole realise she does actually have like feelings for him. It was like the sweetest, wholesome thing ever, and it made my heart all warm. I read most of this on my Kindle, but the physical book, it has loads of illustrations, and I think I showed you at the beginning when I first started this book, it has a big illustration at the front, and it's just so cute, look at that. But there's also loads of illustrations dotted throughout the whole thing. I'm just going to leave it at this. That's what I'm going to leave it at. So the final book I'm going to pick up is Love Like Flowers by B.K. Borison. And all I know is that it's set on like a Christmas tree farm, I believe. I'm not sure if that's right, but that's my guess from the title. And it's set in a small town like most of them are. And I'm very excited because everyone loves this series. So let's just get started with reading it. So it's the next day. I am now on chapter 14 and I'm loving it so far. Basically this follows Stella and Luca, and Stella has, I can't remember how long ago or how recently she's brought this, like, I think she's owned it for a while, this like Christmas tree like sort of farm. It doesn't just have Christmas trees on it, it's got pumpkins, it's got loads of other things, and she's brought it, and she's like struggling to like pay the bills, all of that sort of stuff. And she's got 2 employees, Layla and can't remember what the other guy's called, but I'd say they're quite good friends. And then Luca is her best friend, and he works in like New York, and he comes every now and then because his mum lives in this same small little town to come and see his mum and to come and see Stella. And Stella had recently just like put her name down to be entered into this, like, I think it was either TikTok or Instagram, or it's some sort of social media competition, just to basically get this social media star to come and show their followers the farm that Stella runs, so then she could get more customers and then make more money. And do you win a prize or something? I don't know, I think you win a prize somehow. And when she sent the application in, she said her and her boyfriend brought this like farm together. Well, that's a lie, because she doesn't have a boyfriend. Stella told her friends that help her run the farm, and they were like, you should just ask Luca, because she did ask a guy that runs it with them, still can't remember his name, but she asked, I think she kind of asked him, and he was like, no, ask Luca. That's what's happening so far, and they're kind of like fake dating. They've kind of had to like fake date to the whole like little town, because if they fake date just for this and then the town, it wouldn't work out, so they had to do it the whole town. Even like his mum, they're having to do it for Luca's mum as well. So I'm really liking it. It is told in first person, but you only get the point of view from Stella. You don't get Luca's point of view, which I'm not minding, because usually I like both point of views, but I'm really liking like Stella, and I'm really liking her character. And like the things that have happened in both their passes make me a bit sad for them, but I'm enjoying it. I do think it's sitting at a 4-star now. I feel like this might be my favourite one so far. This morning I have been out and about doing some things, getting some things from the shops. So I've been listening to it mostly on audiobook, and I really like the narrator that's narrating this audiobook. I feel like Christmas vibes out of all of them. At the moment, this is the least Christmassy one, because at the point I am in this book, it's not even near Christmas, it's just coming up to Thanksgiving, so it's not giving that Christmas vibe yet. So if I do have any more updates before I finish this book, I'll get back to you, but I don't think I am. I think I'm just gonna finish it and then come back to you guys. I've now finished Love Like Farms, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I feel like, I did say this earlier, but out of all of them, this is the least Christmassy vibes, because I feel like the other 3 books are more centred around Christmas. This one, it isn't as centred around Christmas. It still has sprinklings of Christmas in it, but it's not revolving around Christmas, if that makes sense. Because I loved Luca. His character, it was so good. I do kind of wish we got more point of views from him, because you do get one point of view. It's like a bonus chapter right at the end of the book, and it's from one of the other chapters, but I wish you got more from his point of view, because Luca, I love him. Stella did annoy me at one point when she's like, no, he doesn't have feelings for her. I'm like, girl, open your eyes, he does have feelings for you. That kind of annoyed me a bit, but then you can kind of understand where she was coming from, and not wanting to lose people who are close to her because of things that happened in her past, because she doesn't want to lose Luca as a result of being in a relationship with him. I love all the other characters, and Beckett is the other one that like runs a farm with Layla and Stella, and I'm really looking forward to Beckett, and I think his is the next book, and I'm not sure who his love interest is, but I believe the person you meet in this, that has something to do with Beckett and something happened in the past between them. I believe that's probably going to be who his love interest is, and I'm really like looking forward to that and seeing that sort of dynamic, because you don't really get to see much of them, but what you did see of them, I was just intrigued. I don't know what about it just intrigued me, because I always say this, I'm not the biggest fan of Friends to Lovers, but then sometimes I am as well, because it builds that foundation before the couple gets into their relationship, so they already have that history, that connection. So I kind of like that, but then sometimes I feel like when Friends to Lovers, sometimes I see them not as like lovers, just as friends, but I definitely can see these as like in a relationship actually as a couple. I was like listening to it on audio while I was reading it, and the audiobook is still the indie self-published one, but the Kindle edition and this edition are the republished editions. So there's a few things that are different. There's a epilogue that's in this and the republished editions, and it's when like they get engaged and Luca proposes to Stella, and it was so good. I really enjoyed that, and throughout there were so many moments that made me like laugh, and I just love the characters and the small town. I just love any sort of like small town because of like the close-knit community, especially when there's like gossipers, and this town has that sort of group of gossipers and things like that. I really enjoyed it. You only got one scene with like Luca's like family in it, like the whole of his like all of his aunts and mum, and I loved that. It was so funny, and I'm really excited to see them in books further down. I'm probably going to settle this at being a 4.25 because it's definitely more than 4 stars, but it's not quite 4.5, so I'm going 4.25. So these are the 4 books I did read in the reading vlog. I'll do a quick overview of the books and what I rated them. So the first book I read was Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and I gave that 4 stars. And then the next one I read was The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore, and I gave that a 3.5. The third book I read was How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn, and I gave that 4 stars. And then the final book I read was Love Like Farms by B.K. Borison, and I gave that 4.25. So my camera just died, and that's kind of annoying because I only had this last clip left to film and I was trying in the middle of filming it, but it cut me off. So that's it. Those are all the books I've read. Some of them I really enjoyed, some of them I did not enjoy as much, but I still feel like I had a good time. There wasn't any books I didn't particularly dislike, which is always very good. So if you did get this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!